Hello, and welcome to Talking Schmidt. I'm your host, Eric Schmidt.
Hello, I'm Greg Burmeister.
And today we have the hilarious comedian, Lori Palminteri.
Hey, Lori,
welcome.
Me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to do this. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for being here. So this is the first episode we're recording since that weird weekend we had a couple weekends ago where we had an earthquake.
Yes.
I believe that was on like a Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then we had the eclipse that following Monday. Were you awake for the... for either?
I was.
Let's start earthquake. Let's start with the earthquake.
I was covering my apartment with plastic because there was this hole in my wall, which Greg knew about. It was this whole ordeal. I actually slept on his couch one night because I had completely covered everything in plastic. They had to repair this hole in my wall.
How did the hole develop?
It was kind of like. It's a really old build. It's a really old house, and it just was like water damage.
You live in a house in New York City?
Yeah, it's
well,
a house.
Converted into apartments. Okay.
It's apartments, and I kind of like pushed through it, and then I thought like it was just started coming apart. Like the wall literally crumbled.
It was actually crumbling.
I pushed through it.
Why did you push through it? Who told you to push through it?
It just was crumbling, and I pushed.
And you were like, let's poke this.
I get pretty much. It was like a scab. I could not pick at it.
Did you think someone had like hidden something back there?
I suggested that to my landlord's brother, our son-in-law rather, that maybe there was hidden treasure in the walls, and he said, "Do you know who your landlord is? More likely a body."
Oh my! Oh dear!
I was like, oh.
But there was none. There was neither, right? There was no treasure or
and
bodies.
she's just this little old lady.
Yeah, she's a little old Spanish lady. So
you could have gotten Geraldo over there to like help you uncover it. You know about that, right? He went into Jimmy Hoffa's like tomb, and there was nothing of interest in there. They did like a whole TV special about it, and then there was
that's so underwhelming.
Yes, which is Geraldo. So you did. So okay, that happened before the earthquake.
Yeah, well,
I forgot we were talking about. I was like, wait, how did this apply to the earthquake?
I was plasticking my apartment because I had to like sand the wall.
You had to do all this?
No, they were doing it, but
okay.
I plasticed my apartment. It's like a studio, so I was like, and I like have OCD, so I
love plastic as a verb, by the way.
I know plastic, and I went like crazy OCD, and I didn't necessarily feel the earthquake, but the plastic kept like falling, and I was like, why is this plastic keep falling?
It's just the earth shaking.
And I was like, more tape, more plastic.
The Lord really didn't want you to plastic your apartment.
Panic attack about like these walls of like crumbling around me. And then like I went outside and my neighbor was like, did you feel the earthquake? And I was like, what?
No, but my plastic is all over the place.
I was like, oh, maybe that's why the plastic wasn't staying in place.
I'm having trouble plasticking my apartment, don't you know? Okay, so you didn't feel it. Greg, did you feel it?
I did. I was actually on a Zoom meeting with my boss, and I thought it was just construction outside of my building. And then, like, right when it started happening, I saw his face, and he lives in Queens, but not anywhere near me. And I just saw his face, and he was like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "Oh, you feel that too?"
Wow, this construction is widespread.
Yeah. It's quite the construction project.
Yeah, I figured it was my neighbor, actually. Like, when it started, I was in my boxer briefs, by the way.
Yeah, I probably was too.
Just having a slow morning, thinking about cereal, not quite there yet. And then all of a sudden, it started shaking. I just figured it was like my neighbor doing something. Like, she's always got someone in there fixing up her place. And so I was just like, God, what is that asshole doing now? And then it just kept going. And someone on one of my wife's Zooms was like, is this an earthquake? And I just yelled, this is an earthquake. And like, thank God we had like a guard up so no one could see me in the state I was in. But no one ever, like, they got back to their call and no one was like, hey, who was that one voice? Like, what was that?
It sounded like a man in his boxers thinking about cereal.
I had to have some cereal, and it was, what do you put in your cereal, by the way?
I'm not really a cereal person.
What?
Yeah, same. I don't really eat cereal.
I don't eat cereal.
Man, they got these things called wheat squares at the Whole Foods, and man, you put some strawberries, some bananas in there, buddy. Ooh, pretty good
Now we're
breakfast you
talking.
got. All right, so let's move on to the eclipse. What was your eclipse experience? Did you stay here? Did you go somewhere?
I went to the beach.
Oh, you went out to like Rockaway or something?
A friend of mine drove on to a place called Democrat Point that you could drive on to on Long Island. I know,
There's a
this is
beach
like
called
big-
Democrat Point?
Yes.
Okay.
Demo for short. There's a jetty there. It's a good surf spot.
Obama's there. It's weird. It's a weird place. All right, so...
And it was actually really, so as soon as we got there was a giant pod of dolphins, like
Whoa!
probably like 20 or 30 of them. There were so many of them. They were jumping out of the water.
That's
They were
cooler
like-
than an eclipse.
I know. Like we pulled up and it was like, dolphins! Oh, check it out. Look at the dolphins are here.
Man, everyone came
Oh,
to
we're
see
here
the
for
eclipse,
So that was
Democrat
really
Island.
exciting.
Yeah, that's just what people call Epstein Island. Like, people who don't think any Republicans ever went there, like, you mean Democrat Island? That's really cool, though. I'm a big fan of seeing dolphins and other aquatic life. Dolphins
it
are
was
kind of like
fun.
the big one, though.
I love,
right?
yeah, dolphins are great.
You ever see the whales out there at Rockaway? I know you go to Rockaway sometimes to surf, right?
I never surfed Rockaway actually, but I saw whales at Gilgo Beach one time when I was
that-
surfing, which is out on Long Island. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I only know of that because of the murders.
Yeah, the murders. That's what.
Oh, should we turn
That's,
this into a murder podcast? What murders?
You don't know about the Gilgo Beach serial killer? I mean, he's
Yeah,
in
there were-
jail.
Oh, it's a
now.
recent one, right? They just
Yeah.
caught him?
Well, he didn't kill them recently.
Right.
It was
But
recently.
yeah, he was recently caught.
Yeah,
It was in the
He's
news.
on-
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Yeah, it was in the news recently. Yeah, but they caught the guy, so we're all safe now.
We think so. But what's crazy about it? There's a lot of crazy things about it. Actually, there's probably going to be a documentary about it. It's going to be crazy. But there were like 4 or 5 bodies. But then like Sandy happened pretty soon after they found those bodies. So Sandy washed everything. I mean, like I had friends' houses that were like half underwater down there in the South Shore of Long Island. So like if there were more bodies or another serial killer, those bodies are gone now.
Damn. Hurricane Sandy just like
Hurricane
covering
Sandy.
up crimes. Okay, so you went out there to watch the eclipse, and did you have the glasses?
Yes, I brought the pack of glasses. I was the nerd. I went with a bunch of my friends, mostly lesbian cops.
That's what they have
hang
at
out.
Democrat Beach for sure.
That's a Democrat Point. It was actually funny because like I was with my friend Danny. She has a Hummer, and then like her other friends had like a Jeep and another Jeep, and I have a Jeep, which is like a real lesbian
Damn.
girl car.
Yeah.
But this one dude drove on the beach and he didn't like properly, because you have to like air down your tires and stuff. I don't know if you know.
You have to let some air out.
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
air down your tires. And this one dude drove on the beach. He didn't air down his tires, and he completely sunk his truck into the sand. And so then like all of us women like come out, we have like these shovels and stuff, so like this man,
Save
we
the manly
completely
man.
demasculated him with like his girl. We were like,
Oh.
I guess we'll help you dig you out because you didn't air your tires.
That poor guy. That poor guy is what I said. I did not say gay. But I mispronounced there for a second. Poor guy. Cool
He was
though.
hilarious.
Was he the only man out there on that beach that day?
No, there were
Okay,
other men on the
there were
beach
other men on
too,
the
but
beach.
he was definitely did not know what he was doing, and it was funny watching a 4 women's rescue him.
Cops too, though. So ACAB doesn't include them, I guess. Okay, so you watched it. Was it interesting at all, or?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff though. Like I'm a space nerd. Like I really like
Have you ever been in totality?
what?
Like when it completely goes away?
No,
I thought you were going to say, have you ever been in space?
Oh, you like space? You ever been to?
When's the last time you were there?
You ever go?
What was the last eclipse was like 7 years ago or something
Yeah, it was
like that. Like I remember.
2017, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where the totality line was for that one.
I'm not sure where that was either. No, I don't think I don't know that I ever have.
You would know because it's
It
fucking
goes, like,
insane.
black,
Yeah. Like, so my wife's really big into it, and we drove up to Buffalo to see the totality. Now, we didn't get to see the sun at all because it was cloudy, and we were like really bummed We were really like super bummed about it because we're just like sitting out in this like field, like, man, fuck, we're not gonna get to see it. It's too fucking cloudy. And we just kept saying the F word, and then like it just went completely dark outside.
Wow.
And, like,
At 3 p.m.
Yeah, but like before it did, the clouds got real like stringy, and they changed, and then there was like, because we were at a farm, they had one of those like windmill things, and it just like stopped. And then like slowly turned directions and then started again. It was like
Stephen King.
Yeah, it was like a horror
yeah.
movie. And then it went completely dark, and then it got light, and one of us was dead. So yeah, it was really
Classic.
it was crazy.
Then it was who done it? Agatha Christie
So
showed up.
I got to get back to Buffalo. I'm wanted for murder. But no, it was really fascinating. And then it came back, and then the birds started chirping. So like that's all I'm gonna do from now on. I'm not doing any of this watered down partial shit. I am all in for
I should
all
drive
totality.
to the totality zone next time.
Well, I don't know if you can drive to Iceland, but that's the next one. Is gonna
I've been to Iceland. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a really good
Well, I think
time.
it's like 2 years they're doing. That's
Oh, wow.
You should go back.
I've always wanted to go to Iceland.
back.
All right, cool.
Iceland is my favorite.
let's all
One of my
go.
favorite places ever. It's amazing.
All right, it's settled.
Crazy.
We'll go.
We're going.
We'll do an episode from. We'll do an episode from the eclipse. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's really cool shit. I had never been that into eclipses, but now I'm like totally. I'm an eclipse guy. I'm gonna chase the totality.
Have you ever seen a meteor shower at a really good spot?
No, not a shower. I mean, I've sometimes in the mountains of like North Carolina, you'll see like a couple shooting stars really close, and that's wild. But no, never a shower.
One of the best of in the Northeast in August is the Perseids meteor shower, which is usually falls like mid-August. There's a place called Cherry Springs in Pennsylvania that has like some of the darkest skies. And me and my friend Katrina went there one time. Wasn't for Perseids. We didn't even know if there was a shower going on, but we saw a meteor probably every 1 or 2 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Man, this podcast
And like big tails streaking across the sky, and you could see like satellites move and shit, and you're like, is that a UFO? I want it to be a UFO.
Yeah, it's the same. Come on, aliens, show yourselves.
Do you think you've ever maybe seen a UFO?
No, I don't. My mom does though. My
Okay.
mom saw like a full blown saucer come. Her and her friend when they were in high school, like come down and then veer away.
Wow, that's like Travis Walton.
Yeah.
Fire in the sky type
She doesn't like
thing.
to talk about it too much because she doesn't want people to think that she's crazy. But
Well, we won't send her this episode then.
Sorry, Donna.
but I believe her.
I mean, you went to Hawaii recently.
Yes.
Are there meteor showers there? I imagine you're out in the middle of the ocean. Might be easy.
stayed in Waikiki, so I mean, Honolulu is a pretty legit city. So you don't really get those really great skies.
Yeah, a lot of city lights and everything.
Yeah, but Hawaii does have great. I imagine if you go to the Big Island, they have some observatory thing there too. I had been to Hawaii previously, and I remember when I went to Hawaii one time, I was visiting my sister. She had lived there for a short time, and I remember going to the beach at night and being like, "Oh, this is the first time I'm seeing the night sky for real."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, growing up on Long Island, or I've been to dark places, but never like it was so many stars. It was crazy. But that's kind of how Cherry Springs is in Pennsylvania. Like you could see the Milky Way. Like it's like purple. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So I've been to Bermuda, and it's kind of similar to I imagine Hawaii, where you're just like out in the middle of the ocean. The sky is just
So
you can
beautiful.
see all of the sky.
Also,
pretty much.
both those places, I'm assuming, just have the best seafood.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean,
Like Bermuda
Hawaii.
and
Yes,
Hawaii.
yes.
Yeah.
I think Hawaii probably has slightly better food influences though, because they're influenced a little more by like
Yeah, they have a
like
lot
Japanese.
of Asian influences. Yeah.
Whereas Bermuda's unfortunately British. I can't win them all over there. But how was it? You went? How long were you there?
I was in Hawaii for 3 weeks, which was amazing. At the time, I was writing for radio remotely, so I was able to go there. I had a friend who has this Airbnb there, gave me this like really good deal. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Hawaii for 3
Why
weeks.
not? And now they're my friend of a friend. Of a friend.
And then I booked some gigs down there too. So like, it was great.
You write it off on the old taxes.
Exactly.
Now.
Business write off.
I see what's happening
That's
here.
the move.
The whole thing is business write off. And it was beautiful. I surfed every day. I was writing.
Surfed every
I was,
day.
like,
So
living my dreams.
the
Swimming with the sea turtles all the time, just every day.
so
with the
cool.
sea
Yeah, I wanted to
turtles.
see those sea turtles are massive.
Every time I'd be in the water, sea turtles.
Is the Airbnb like on the water or like walking distance or?
It's walking distance.
That's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And it's in. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you had access to a truck too, didn't you? So you could.
It was I called him my housemate because he was there also. Like it was but yeah, he had a truck and then he let me borrow it a couple
that's
days.
nice.
So,
So
we
you didn't
drive
have to
to
just,
the North
like-
Shore too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of truck?
It was a really old Ford truck. She nicknamed
Hell
Trucky.
yeah, brother.
Yeah, very much.
Ford tough.
He nicknamed it Trucky, and it would also like the steering on that was really fucked. Like it would like kind of veer off. So he was like, he was like, yeah, don't rent a car, borrow a Trucky. And I was like, all right, thanks. He's like, yeah, but the kind of veers off. So just keep your hands on tight. And my favorite part about this truck is the volume control. If you turn it down, it gets really loud.
Oh, interesting. This episode brought to you by really old Ford trucks with like fucked steering wheels and fucked volume controls.
It was great. I love that truck.
Trucky.
I love that truck. It was
Real
like,
creative name
that was
for the truck.
yeah, I would like surf all these like shallow surf breaks, do these hikes or whatever. Most dangerous thing I did, drive Trucky.
Did you have like you went out there like by yourself, right? But
Yeah.
like there was the guy who owns the place
Yeah,
was
I
staying
knew
there.
him. Yeah,
Did he go out surfing too, or
No, he's a scuba diver.
Oh.
He's an older dude. He's a scuba diver. He also worked remote, so like we were both kind of doing our.
But
own
he was
things
keeping his
or
eye on
whatever.
you because like surfing by yourself, very not recommended, right? Like.
I mean, there's not. There's
Were
other
there other
surfers
people
out.
out
There's
there?
always people out there.
Okay, there were
yeah.
always people out
Yeah.
there. Okay, so if
There's
you
always
like
people
if you
out
got
there.
like knocked out or like taken away, someone would have.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there rough like currents or anything, or pretty good little
The
area?
biggest concern is the reef. I was surfing this one break called what was that? Now I can't think of it. Rock piles. That's what it was called.
Yeah, that sounds like a dangerous spot to surf. I don't think I would surf it.
By the
I don't-
name of
It's
it.
I don't think I would surf at a place
very
called
shallow,
Rock Piles.
and very sharp. I was cutting myself on that reef pretty much almost every time. Like I'd come off a wave, I would jump off, and I realized I would be
Oh.
like in a foot of water, and then my feet would be like shit. I'm like, ah. So there were a
And
couple-
the salt water too, I'm assuming, can't feel very good on a.
I don't know that you feel, but no, it's just the reef is like a razor. Like,
Yeah.
You just land on the reef and you're like, God damn it! Like, you pull a sea urchin, twig out of your,
brutal.
toe. You're like,
You're also damaging the reef. So just to be an environmentalist here for a second. Well, that's cool though. Other than cutting yourself on the reef.
yeah.
Oh, also, one of my favorite things you did was you saw the Beach Boys.
Oh,
What?
yes.
Yeah.
I saw the Beach Boys with John Stamos.
Wow.
Stamos.
You saw. Wow.
Well, John Stamos tours with the Beach Boys, which is a thing, which I didn't realize was a thing until I was actually at the concert. But yeah, I was like, I was gonna be there anyway, and I was like, oh, the Beach Boys are gonna be playing in Honolulu. I was like, I guess I'll get tickets to that. And it was so fun. It's just this theater. It was like the 1,600 seat theater. It was really nice. This old theater. I got there like a half hour before the show, and the line was like crazy, like double wrapped around the building because like everybody's so old, like going in. And I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna go to a bar and have some drinks. Like I'm not gonna wait on a line for a half hour while everybody's getting seated. So I went to a bar, came back, and it was funny as I was walking the line, I heard some guy say to his wife, "Oh, look, you're not the youngest girl here after all."
He used to have them on Full House. Do you remember? Did you have?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like he would play with them on episodes of Full House. Like he
So he's known them a long
Oh yeah, he was like a
time.
constant advertisement, or he was constantly advertising the fact that he like knew them. He was always like, "Is there some way to incorporate the fact that I know the Beach Boys?" So yeah, John Stamos, please come on our podcast.
He seems like he's having the time of his life up there.
Yeah.
Like he's just thrilled. thrilled. And he was really good. It was fun. It was
Well,
so
yeah,
fun.
I would hope so. He's like
Yeah.
40 years their junior, so I would hope he's. But they were all really good though. Is Brian Wilson played with them?
Brian Wilson's not there with them. No, I think Brian Wilson is like
Has not played with them since
mental
like
institution or
Yeah,
something.
since,
No, they let him out.
Manson.
He's good. He's fine. Did anything bad happen while you were out there?
In Hawaii, nothing. Well, yes, I lost my job.
Oh, God damn it.
Like shark attack. I did. My last week there, my boss I was writing for this radio company called me up and he was like, really, I knew I was getting fired, like, or my job was just getting deleted, because he kept like beating around. I really liked my boss, like he's a really good dude. It was out of his hands, like, but the company was in trouble. They got bought out by this other company. They did one round of cuts. I thought I was gonna be fine, and then they just like scrapped most of the company. And then I found out by somebody who's still there that they basically are replacing us with AI at this point.
Robots
fucking
taking
bastards.
our jobs.
So many
I'm
bastards here.
full blown
Classic.
Sarah Connor mode right
Yes.
now. I'm like, at first it took my job, and then it took my unborn child.
Oh dear. Oh, my. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But you have another job that like is backing you up a little bit here, right?
I don't. But
What?
when I was in Hawaii, I was cutting up my feet so much on the reef. I was making these kind of like joking these posts about my feet when they were like bloody, and I was like, "Hey, will people still pay for my feet if they're like bleeding?" And it turns out people will still pay for your feet if they're bleeding, for videos of them. If you're a
If you're into feet.
So wait, I'm sorry.
Apparently-
So people had you been selling feet pictures before?
I never had. I joked about it before.
So you got some guys on the line by joking about
I
it
guess
before.
so, yeah. They were like, "Oh, haha."
LOL.
Now that they're all sliced up.
They're like, "Wait, do you really want to sell foot videos?" I was like, "Yeah,
Videos?
sure,
Whoa.
yes."
You made
Oh,
the
yeah.
jump straight to video?
I made the jump to video.
Oh
You
my
gotta do the
God.
video. You gotta
Oh.
do the video.
Wait, what? I have to what?
You gotta do the video.
You gotta go to video
Yeah,
first.
you gotta
Okay.
do the
I feel like
video.
most models start with stills, right? Right?
I don't know. I'm new to
did
the
you
foot
start-
world. It's a video. It's not long. You know, these short little videos twinkling my toes.
Okay. So wait, let's go back. How did they first get in touch with you though? Was it just like Instagram DMs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I mean, I don't want to like give too much away here, but like, was there anyone who you were following who?
No,
okay.
I don't.
So it's
think
no one you
so.
know.
No, I do
Okay.
not. I don't know.
These are all strangers.
They're strangers, but my feet are not strange to them.
Yes. They know your feet all too well.
So did you have to start like an OnlyFans for this, or is
No.
this strictly through this is
It's not. It's not a business as of right now. But I might.
well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not
might,
going to make you report it on your taxes, but
if I could get like a dozen of these guys, I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah. And also,
well, how many do you have?
I really just have one guy.
But the beauty of getting more people is you just reuse the same videos.
Yeah, just
and
reuse the
you get
same
paid
one. I like-
multiple times.
Well, I don't know. My sister was giving me advice. She was like, "You need to go on Feet Finder." Like, it's this whole thing. Like, I've just dipped my toe
Oh dear. Oh, I didn't know that
in
was.
this world.
I'm glad we rehearsed that for 2 hours before this episode. That's fascinating. So you have one
is
guy, but you need
fascinating.
12. You need 12 more. Well, I mean, we haven't plugged in fans yet.
no,
right?
no.
I don't have
or a
one.
foot
No, yeah.
finder.
Or a foot
No.
finder.
But I guess like
Instagram. Your Instagram handle. Will be
Yeah,
in
we'll put that on
episode
there.
If you
description.
really look at these feet,
Go.
look, I didn't know I had attractive feet until this year.
until you cut
I'm
them open on the
34
reef.
years old.
I'm worried about what that says about the fella, by the way, that it was
This
them
whole
cut
time-
up that he was like,
That's
ooh,
what
I'm
really,
in. You
that's
know?
what
Like,
hooked them.
This whole time I was like thought it was my boobs that would be my moneymaker if needed, and it was my feet all along.
Well, I'm not sure what's appropriate to even say anymore, really. Well, I mean, best of luck with that. You do have another job, though. That's what I was getting at. And then you went straight for the feet pictures. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm a writer. I do freelance writing. I'm a joke contributor for Gutfeld.
What's his first name?
Greg Gutfeld.
Greg. That's, man, how the fuck did I forget?
That's an easy one.
All I had written down was Gutfeld. I forgot to write down the first name and totally blanked on what it was. So do you go to the office there?
I used to go to the office, and now they just have us freelancers work from home, which is not. I mean, like in a way, it's better because you don't have to go to the office, but it's not better because you're lacking the networking aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then also with like comedy, like you're a little bit because we're all on this kind of like email thread. But you kind of like step on each other's toes a little bit when you're not being able to be in a room with them, You
said it again. You just keep
just the toes. We're gonna keep talking about toes.
Can't stop doing it. So when did they stop having you guys come? Was it pandemic or? No,
I actually got hired like at the end of the pandemic, sort of. But so no, I don't know. They were like, oh, we just, I write for a specific segment called The Leftovers, which they usually do on Fridays.
Okay. So do you work like Thursday then?
Pretty much, okay. Yeah. They send it to me on like Thursdays, and it's like due by that night or or Friday morning. And it's kind of like the monologue section is usually like sillier jokes of all like news stories of the week.
Cool. So your jokes are only on Friday.
Yeah.
So tune into Gutfeld on Friday.
On Fridays on the leftover section. I got some jokes on
and
there.
Tweet at him, hey, more Lori. Come on. And if you're that one guy, tweet
more feet.
More feet. Does he follow you on Twitter too? The guy that buys the
I don't think so.
Okay. What's his name? Full name? Where does he live? No. Let's not. Well, we haven't had to bleep anything yet. Well, Lori, my voice got real weird there for a second. You and I both fled the city in the pandemic.
Yes.
We both went to Florida.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You guys went to the same place. Same state.
Well, same state. Yeah. Real cowards we are.
I think that we just want to have a good time.
Didn't want to be in a tiny apartment the whole time. It's like
that Rick and Morty episode where he's like, just go to Florida. They have fun in Florida. Don't think about it. Like, they can't, just have fun. Don't think about it.
That's where I learned to surf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach?
No, a little north of there,
Beach.
Palm Coast.
Okay.
A little north of there, yeah. So but yeah, the government was sending me money, so I was like, I guess I'm gonna get a surfboard, fuck it. And then I self-taught.
Go hit Ron John Surf Shop.
Yeah, so I self-taught.
Surf shop.
I self-taught, so that's how you know I'm real bad at it. But it was there's nothing more rewarding though than like trying for a month to get stand up on that damn thing, and then finally. And you're like,
so fun.
So, the camera ready? Sweet Lord, get a picture of this. But yeah, it's the most fun, and it is such the best workout I've ever had. I was in the best shape of my life when I was like learning.
Yeah.
Because you're dragging this thing.
It's
that's
a
meant
lot of
to
work.
go.
You're pretty tall, dude. How big was the board that you got?
I had to get like a 50-foot board.
Sounds about right.
You're like, I was actually surfing the Titanic.
It was more of a boat, really. No, it was an 8. Like I got the longest you're allowed to that regular people are allowed to buy, because they have like 9 for if you're in like a class, which is weird that they don't just sell those. Like people would buy them. Like
yeah,
me.
I know,
like
you
I
can 9-foot board.
But it's tough. It's tough. Being as tall as I am, it's tough to get up on a damn board.
Being tall is a detriment in surfing.
Absolutely. High
Unlike,
center of gravity too.
Yeah.
Did you learn on a long soft top board? I feel like that's
I learned on this like weird board that because we were I grew up on the South Shore of Long Island, and we were boogie boarders since forever. So we were really used to catching waves. And that was kind of the next step.
Yeah, that's like grad school for
yeah,
boogie
and
boarders.
my dad bought this they don't even make them anymore. It was this really weird short board that was made out of like rubber, and it was really fast and dangerous actually.
Jeez. How short do you think it was?
It was only like 6'5" or something. It wasn't that big.
Whoa,
He
yeah.
got us like a really small board to learn.
like me.
I mean, we
It's
were
like-
very tiny.
it's like
but,
your height.
Yeah, it's like my height.
Board.
That's what you were.
It was kind of crazy. But I actually don't like long boards, but maybe it's because I like learned on a short board, which is also
Well, those are harder.
It's way harder. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you already know how to do that, you might as well just stick with that. That's like more impressive to anyone else. So.
Well, certain waves, like, I mean, Long Island is better for long boards, but I like short boards better, or like retro fish boards. But this will be like, I don't know, if I get into surf talk, you podcast listeners will be like,
Well, we got a few more minutes, but like, let me ask you this: do you travel with a board, or do you just like rent whenever you get to a place? Because you do a lot of like.
It depends. I brought a board to Hawaii with me.
Okay. Short one.
But yeah, sometimes we'll just rent a board, or sometimes even just buy a board and then sell it back, like buy a used board and then sell it back.
Ah, that's a good
is
move.
a good
That's
move
the
to
trick.
do.
I'm gonna write that.
I've done that before.
Taxes. Turn the board. Okay. Lori, thank you so much for being here. Where can people go see Lori on Instagram, right?
Go see Lori on Instagram.
And then
If you want to see really funny content or pictures of my feet,
Yeah,
message me.
that's where you.
Wait, you're just
that's
giving
the
them
place
away
to get
on
them.
there? That's
No,
probably why
no.
there's only one
No,
guy
like,
paying
message
for them.
me. And then
He hasn't figured out you're just giving them away yet. And then at Lori Palminteri on
Twitter.
Twitter.com,
Yes.
correct? Is there anywhere else?
no, that's it pretty much.
Okay. Go find her. Lori, thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thank you, Lori.
Good night. Talking Schmidt is recorded at Burmeister Studios in
Astoria, Queens.
Opening music is by Greg Burmeister. Closing music is by
Greg Burmeister.
Our intern is Jason Travis. If you like what you've heard, please like, follow, and write a review for us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you didn't like it, please keep listening to it, but keep your opinions to yourself. If you really liked it, you can find bonus episodes over on our Talking Schmidt Patreon page. Membership is just $5 per month, and it goes a long way to buy us the equipment and bourbon we need. Thanks in advance, and hope you're doing great.